standing here today right in front of the Blackburn Gurdwara in Melbourne. We're heading to Warrnambool to witness the handing over ceremony of the ashes of Pooran Singh. How do you feel about the story of Pooran Singh?
We're very excited on this project, and it's very nicely handled by the Australian and the Indian community. We're very proud of the whole community here.
I really feel honored, going over there and for such a noble cause. And it's good to see that our community has got such a good respect in Australia.
He is from Bilga, and our village is not far from them in Punjab. I came here about 36 years ago when I was only 20.
I feel like he was our ancestor or great-grandfather, so we should wish him a farewell.
We're in Warrnambool right now. We have amidst us Kapil Dev, India's cricketing legend. He's come here with the whole Punjabi community to be part of the function of the handing over ceremony of Pooran Singh's ashes.
I don't know, it's just happened. I was doing interview to SBS radio and back from Delhi, and this story broke down, and I was just emotional person and said I will fulfill somebody's last wish.
He had a large sum of money that was left. He had no chattels. The inventory on his will was nil on everything, even a horse and cart. And he left the Warrnambool Hospital £500. He left the Moors, and who he stayed with before he went to hospital. And he also left the remainder equally divided between his 4 nephews in India, because his brother and all the rest of his family was dead in India.
Cremation took place in Springvale in 1947, and there was to be a direction given for the ashes to go to India. We didn't receive that direction, and so we've been holding Pooran Singh's ashes with us. After 63 years, we figured we could actually do it ourselves, and because it was time. He needed to go home to be scattered in the River Ganges, and without Manpreet we couldn't have found Hamil and Pooran Singh's family.
Absolutely. I met here also great-grand uncles. There's a great-grandson, and I met one of their family people, the great-grandson in Chandigarh also. It was wonderful to meet them, and amazing story.
I have with me standing right now Mr. Harmail Uppal, the grandnephew of Pooran Singh. We're going to ask him a few questions. Mr. Harmail, is this an emotional moment for you?
Yes, it's a very emotional moment for myself and all our family, both in England and in India.
I got the information about 5 or 6 years ago, and I didn't believe it. I looked at it and I thought, no, nobody keep ashes for that long. And then a few months back, Chris and I were back up in Warrnambool doing research, because we go all over Victoria doing the research. And I'd looked at it again and just pushed it to one side. And I was doing other work, and Chris had nothing to do. And she started going over what I'd already done, and she said, "Those guys have still got the ashes." I said, "Nah, forget it." No, she said, "No, they got them." I said, "Nah, forget it." She says, "I'm going down there." I said, "No, you're not. We're going home." And this went on and on and on. And in the finish, she said, "Well, you can stay here. I'm going." So she went down to Guyett, and I accompanied her. And Alice Guyett said, "Yes, we've got them." And if it had been up to me, they wouldn't have been found. They would have been in Alice's care, put it that way, and none of this would have happened.
How does it feel today? You are responsible for bridging people from 2 spectrums or 2 ends of the world.
I could say I'm overwhelmed. I just think it's a fantastic result that we've been able to find Pooran Singh's family through the efforts of Manpreet from SBS Radio, and that we're actually being able to take Pooran Singh home in the way we are.
The way that we found out in England was we've contacted our cousins in the village in Uppal in India, and they said that there's a lot of media and newspaper coverage. And thereafter, we had a mention of a great uncle that was in Australia. and we didn't think much of it because it was such a long time ago. And thereafter we checked on the internet and we Googled, and we found a web link through SBS Radio in Australia. And thereafter one thing led to another, and we were in touch with Manpreet at SBS, and everything just moved so fast.
Yeah, I mean, it is the story becoming bigger and bigger, and a lot of Punjabi people come back, and it's lovely to see they are paying respect to Pooran Singh, not to anything else. I think those type of people who first moved here and made their name.
Alice was actually going to take the Ashes back herself at some stage in the near future. So they would have gone back, but this is slightly different to the way it was planned.
The reasons for settling Australia, for instance, Governor Phillip, the person in charge of the First Fleet, he was recalled from India along with his officer corps to mount the First Fleet to bring convicts to Australia. The convicts who sailed to Australia were in ships either owned by or leased by the English East India Trading Company, and they were on their way to trade in China and India and returning to Australia. And that connection with India goes all the way through, right up till the present time.
After this story, I got educated myself how people travel during those periods when India was struggling, and they made their own life and beautiful life, and they earned such a, the name which people today come forward and giving him respect and love to Pooran Singh, he died in 1947. Amazing. Must be amazing people during that period.
Yes, it would be hard. I can speak firsthand because about 10 or 15 years ago, I was researching a play on Indian hawkers for Haywood, and I put books there and for people to look at and purchase, hopefully. They're gone. And when I was doing that research, to get a feel of it, I bought a horse and a light delivery wagon covered, the same as the hawkers used, and travelled from Bundoora in Melbourne, up to almost to the South Australian border, all around this district, all the little back lanes and all that sort of thing, camping out. And it was a terrible life because what happens, it's cold, and if you can't hobble your horse or put it in a paddock, it's like having a young baby. You've got to get up every 2 or 3 hours and move the horse because you can't carry the feed to feed the horse. And so you're getting up in the middle of the night, freezing cold, putting gumboots on, going out and finding the chain and the rope and untying it. The horse doesn't want to move, and you move him up to the next post, tie him up, get back to sleep. As soon as you're back to sleep, the alarm's going, you've got to get up and move him again. You're sitting up on a vehicle about that high off the ground, elevated in the rain, the wind, the sun, and it's bleak. It's a really hard. I lost weight. You can see I haven't got much weight, and I lost weight.
Well, the memories, the only recollection I have of my great uncle is being told by my father as a very, very young child at the age of 5 or 6.
Yes, mainly because I used to ride on his cart with him, only for about 100 yards, but the cart had a footpath to it, and the seat was only 2/3 of the way across. And Pooran Singh would make me sit up on the top seat beside him because he had to look after the girl, and my younger brother had to sit on the low side with his feet dangling just behind the horse. He was a boy, he could look after himself.
Kept the love alive with a foreigner totally not belonging to them. We are here today. That expression of love has brought us together this evening for this function. And we are grateful to God who gave